Hello, everybody. At noon on Friday the 10th, I am Pam Whitcliffe, and I am with the League of Women Voters Lunch with the League committee of 3 that we put together on a monthly basis, the second Friday of every month. And I have a few things to say before we start today, and it's the routine stuff that those of you who come every month probably can recite it with me. But the League of Women Voters never supports or opposes a political party or candidate. We are a nonpartisan political organization, and we encourage informed and active communication in government. We try to present unbiased information about elections, voting process, and issues. And though we don't support any particular party or person, we do support issues. We study them, and as does the state and national league. And we use our positions to advocate for or against particular policies that are of public interest. Because of that, comments and opinions by folks who are here today are not necessarily those of the leagues. We're here from noon till 1, our general format, and I guess that's how you want to do it, Neil, right? You want to speak for 30 minutes, and then we'll have questions and answers after that. So if everybody stays muted, and if they would put their questions in the chat, and then we will, Neil can answer them then at the end when it's time for Q&A. For more information about the league and their positions, go to lwvsouthbend.org. Now, there are a couple other things that I need to mention that are local things. One is the Citizens Guide. We put a Citizens Guide out every year, and that requires updating every year with new members of local, state, and federal folks in Congress and in the legislature. And so every year we need people to work on that, to help to edit it and to fact check it. So I think they're still needing a few people to do that. I know I've volunteered to do it. So it takes only 2 or 3 hours to do it, and it's really kind of fun. If you're interested in doing it, send an email to lisa.plenchner, PLENCNER @comcast.net. And the board wants to thank everybody who was engaged in an important issue recently before the Board of Commissioners. It was a resolution that will move local voter registration operations to the supervision of the St. Joseph County Clerk. Whether you attended meetings, sent letters, made a call, your actions made a difference, and our elected officials responded. The League has written a letter, and it should be in the South Bend Tribune soon. They sent it in on February the 2nd concerning that. There is a county council meeting coming up on February 14th, and it's concerning federal monies that are yet left and the request by the homeless, the Motels for Now. Motels for Now had requested that the county support them for 1 more year, help fund them for 1 more through this year until next year when they can build their own facility. The county council they had initially accepted it, passed it, and then the commissioners did not. So it went back to the county council, and we have a new county council now, and they will not put it on the agenda. So they're kind of hoping, people are kind of hoping that folks will show up to be present and to speak if they would like to concerning the issues of the homeless that we have and helping to fund them. You would need to speak as an individual, not as a member of the league. Okay. Given that, I'm done with all that stuff. So now I want to introduce, excuse me, I got to see if there's anybody else waiting. I don't think so. I think we're all here. Neil Carmichael, who is the Director of Arts and Education at the Kroc Center in South Bend. Neil was born and raised in St. Joe County, and he attended all South Bend schools, Stanley Clark, Clay High School, and the University of Notre Dame. After graduating with majors in marketing and psychology, he spent 5 years serving the community through Madison Center. And while he was there, he also was teaching music lessons and classes at the Music Village. In 2019, he was the instrumental music teacher at Nooner Fine Arts Academy, and he held that position for 3 years, was awarded Teacher of the Year for 2021-22, and placed in the top 10 honors group. He's also a composer, and his music's been used in TikTok videos, animated shorts, and commercials. And in February of 2022, his composition Onward to Battle had 3 million streams in Ukraine. A video that included music from this track has 6 billion views on TikTok. I guess I'll have to watch TikTok once in a while. He is going to talk to us today about the Kroc Center in South Bend. And with that, Neil, we are looking forward to hearing what you have to tell us.
Okay, thank you so much, Pam. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for that wonderful introduction. My recommendation for you is to stay off TikTok. Don't bother.
Right.
It's humongous time suck.
Okay.
It's nice to see everybody here. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the past, present, and future of the South Bend Kroc Center. So the Kroc has been around for 10 years. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary last year. And we've had like a lot of successful programs. So I want to just kind of run through some of the stuff that we've done in the past, some of the cool stuff we do in the community, and then talk about a little bit about what I'm developing and what the arts team is developing here at the Kroc. So with that, let me start the presentation. So this is about me, but Pam gave you the summary, so I'll skip through that. So here's a little bit about the history of the Kroc Center. So we were fortunate that Joan Kroc of the McDonald's hamburger fortune left $1.5 billion to the Salvation Army to build 26 community centers across the United States. So the South Bend Kroc was actually one of the newer Kroc centers. It started in California, and where Joan Kroc lived, and she was so blown away by this community center and its impact on the children and adults and families that she wanted to kind of grow and expand the footprint across the United States. And she envisioned a safe gathering place, which is what we strive to do here at the South Bend Kroc Center. So it's a place that encourages healthier bodies. We have a gym, spirits, we have a chapel, hearts and minds for every person, and our programs are available and accessible to everyone. So we try to break down cost barriers and invite folks in with different abilities into our arts programming here at the Kroc Center. So it was made possible by $70 million. That was from Joan Kroc, and then we raised $10 million locally to complete this project. And then, so this was over 10 years ago that it was opened, and the construction began in May of 2010, and the facility opened officially in January of 2012. So the building is 11 years old, and it's definitely showing signs of being an 11-year-old building, but we have a phenomenal facilities team that kind of keeps it running. It's 110,000 square feet. We have a pool that needs to be maintained, so there's a lot of kind of investment that's ongoing to keep this place functional. So Joan Kroc once said that talent doesn't discriminate, but sometimes opportunity does. And we recognize that that a lot of folks just don't have access to taking painting classes or music classes, and they don't have opportunity to find community in a hip hop class. But at the Kroc Center, we think that everyone should have those opportunities. And that's, I think, what makes it really exciting to work here is that we get to serve populations that our programs could be a real game changer in their lives. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let's watch this video so you can learn a little bit more about some of the cool things that we do here at the Kroc Center.
I'm not hearing any audio.
Let me see if I can remedy that. How about now? Okay. Let me see if I can remedy that situation.
You can just sing along.
I could sing along. You want? I don't think you want to hear me sing, but huh? Oh, share sound. That's the helpful thing to press. All right, here we go, friends.
Thank you.
Left the bulk of her earthly good fortune to the Salvation Army. It was to do the most good, inspiring wishes and dreams that give life meaning, and to do it from a place like this, the Kroc Center in South Bend.
The Kroc was a new paradigm for the community and the Salvation Army. And I give so much credit to the people that backed this project before it was built, you know, in faith that it would do something different. And over the last 10 years, this Kroc Center, all the Kroc Centers have done amazing things. And I don't care if you're rich or poor, young or old, you need community. I think that that solves a lot of issues organically. If we can create community here in a way that you don't normally see, what I notice is people from different dynamics come together, and you know what they talk about? They talk about raising their kids, a better life for their children, a better quality of life for themselves, a better community in South Bend, resources and stuff. And when people can talk one-on-one, I tell you this much, if you're on a treadmill, I don't care if you're rich or poor, you sweat the same. And the Kroc's a great equalizer to bring people together.
I needed to expand my horizons. So I was actually here picking my daughter up from a pool party in their amazing pool. And I was thinking, this is a great place. I should figure out how to become a member. So I was looking on my phone and I found membership rates and just all the membership ideas. And then I thought, I wonder if they have positions here, if they have jobs. This might be an interesting place to work.
I love coming here because I get to do ministry every day. It's just like people that are buying up houses in the bad neighborhoods and fixing them up. It's because they want it to look better. They want it to be better. Well, we do the same thing with people. When we invest in people, when we love on people, when we give people resources, give people access to resources they've never had access to, when we teach people how to network, how to connect, then we're improving our community, our families, our school systems. I mean, it's just a domino effect.
It's the spirit of the Salvation Army that runs through the veins of the place, and you can feel it, you can see it.
I am more blessed when I can help someone. We're changing people's lives one person at a time, or one family at a time. People start thinking about, hey, I didn't think about college for me or trade school, but now I do, because I had an experience at the Kroc Center that made me think, oh, I could get into engineering, or I could get into art, or I could get into swimming, whatever it may be. So the Kroc Centers can be transformative.
I've always believed that if there are Picassos to be painted or Rodins to be sculpted, they ought to be there in the inner city. They ought to be there at the Kroc, and they are here in South Bend now through that, because they revivify the spirit. You know, they make people believe that it's possible.
I love what you said, one person at a time or one family at a time, because I too hear that quite a bit, that there's so many problems, the world's gone so bad, I don't even know where to begin, so therefore I'm just not even going to do anything. And the truth of the matter is every single one of us can make a difference.
You'd see the people kind of walking up towards the kettle, maybe a mom with her kids, and she'd take $1 out of her purse or some change or whatever, and she would give it to her child and say, put it in that bucket. And the kid would say, why? And the mom would right there do a story lesson. And she would say, this is to help others.
We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe, and I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
I love Christmas, but it makes me feel so good about what we do and how my little part makes me feel when I go to bed at night going, man, I know I helped somebody today, and that just makes me feel so good, and I know that's why I'm here. We had a lady come through a couple years ago, almost looked like she was crying. So as she walked through the door, I kind of kept an eye on her, just making sure she was okay and nothing was wrong. And as she shopped for her toys for her children, she was starting to get a little more emotional, and by the time she was ready to leave, after picking out all those toys, she was really bawling. And so I asked her, are you okay? And she said, yeah, I'm fine. I go, well, here, sit down for a minute. You really look like something's wrong. And she goes, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. I wouldn't have had Christmas without this. My husband just left me with my 3 kids, and we have nothing. I'm gonna be a hero to my kids. And she was able to have a Christmas that everybody dreams of and everybody wants to have. We made that a reality with the help from the community, and I still get a little teary-eyed now about it, because when I have that troubled day, that tough day, I just picture her face and how she made me feel being part of helping, and knowing that the help that our community gives and that we give just made such a difference in her life.
We're celebrating what this community has done. Literally tens of thousands of people have come through this center either as a donor, a supporter, a board member. It's hard to celebrate. Celebrate the past, but be ready for the future. We can't just sit in this moment. We have to say, okay, how are we going to celebrate 10 years from now for what we've done?
I think Joan Kroc would ask, please help us help others.
We can't do this alone.
Do the most good, inspiring wishes and dreams that give life meaning.
Without God, there isn't hope.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me.
All right. Goodness me. Okay.
When we tell our children
Oh,
that
and I'm back to the
destiny
same. Hold on a second. So that captures a little bit about what we do at the Kroc Center that's kind of outside of my purview. So we have a family resource center that has all these different programs, Pathway of Hope, Food Pantry. We have a backpack food program where we partner with the School of City of Mishawaka and kind of load backpacks with food and give them to kids. We have Christmas assistance programs, seasonal holiday food baskets, Getting Ahead program, which is designed to target folks that are kind of living in poverty and help them make strong financial decisions. And we have financial and utility assistance. So in 2022, you can see we've done a lot of meals to the community, a lot of toys to kids, lots of financial assistance, and we served over 5,000 meals to children through our school backpack program. So we have quite a significant reach within our community. And over the last 5 years, you can see that just keeps growing. And this was even during kind of our COVID time where a lot was unknown. We continue these programs to make sure that people had support throughout the community. So in terms of the arts and education classes, so I've been here for about 7 months, and when I got here, there were 2 dance classes, and that was all that was being offered. So my job was kind of to figure out what the facility was, what we've done historically. I felt like an archaeologist. I was like uncovering all these programs from the past and trying to figure out what other folks in the community and arts centers were providing, and then what we needed to provide. So to do that, I went on a community listening tour. But before I tell you about that, this is the first day. This was the first day of my position at the Kroc Center. This is the first dance class that I saw. And this completely blew me away. The energy and enthusiasm and just the skill of these folks was absolutely incredible. And it really inspired kind of all the work that I've been doing up to this point. So I would like you to watch.
4, 3, 2, 1. I like the power!
Yep. So first day at the job was a totally mind-blowing experience right out of the gate. So much positive experiences happening. So before I started the programs, like I said, I went to a lot of back to school nights at various schools in the empowerment zone and in South Bend Community School Corporation, just to spread the word about the arts programs at the Kroc Center. My friend Sam Centeus snapped this photo of me at Wilson Elementary School, and got some really cool light effect. I'm not sure how exactly that happened, but it was it's really a wonderful example of kind of the feeling of the arts and education programs here at the Kroc Center, that they're kind of on level with kids and meeting that need where it exists. We're also working with the South Bend Youth Symphony Orchestra. I visited the Ethos Center in Elkhart to see if I could bring some STEM programming to the Kroc Center. STEM Plus, which is Notre Dame Center for Civic Engagement program. I met with the South Bend Children's Museum folks and listened to what they had and what they offered. Just local arts community, Music Village, trying to figure out what they offer, what we offer, how we cannot kind of exist in this, we're in the same space, but how we can kind of play nicely with each other. And the South Bend Housing Authority, the mission of the Kroc and the reason why it's built where it is to serve all of the folks in kind of the subsidized housing around us. So I met with them to see what the best way would be to reach these people, and worked with the South Bend Civic Theater to see if we had any overlaps. Boys and Girls Club, I already mentioned, the Music Village. In the fall of 2022, we launched our first set of programs. So we started a homeschool university that serves homeschool students from 5 to 13 within St. Joseph County. We have an after-school program that serves lots of folks from different public schools and some private schools also, that runs every day after school. We expanded our dance classes. We added art, music classes, and adaptive arts classes. We had a recital at the end of our fall term, and it was a fall showcase. We had over 2,000 folks. 2,000, that would be wishful thinking. We had 250 folks in the audience and about 100 performers on stage. And this performance was especially really nice to see how Kroc Center's programs with people of all ages and abilities kind of bring together families really
Relevate
at the
means
moment.
to rise, rise, relevate means to rise, rise, relevate means to rise, rise, the French language
It's really
of
refreshing to see
ballet.
the big dance that they go about it too. I think that's
These
really
are the words that we say in ballet, they're French, the language of ballet. Tendu means to stretch, stretch, tendu means to stretch, stretch, tendu means to stretch, stretch, the French, the language of ballet. Hooray means tiny steps, hooray means tiny steps, hooray means tiny steps, the French, the language of ballet. Passe means to pass, pass, passe means to pass, pass, passe means to pass, pass, the French, the language of ballet. These are the words that we say in ballet.
all right. Let's move on. Okay, it was a wonderful moment, and I'm so happy that we have such a strong team that can bring moments like that to our stage. So in the spring of 2023, which actually starts now, we're almost in our second 5-week session, which starts next week. And we have dance, music, arts, creative writing, kids programs, and adaptive arts programs. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about those. I know we're close to half an hour, but this might take another 10 minutes or so. Is that okay, Pam? You good? Okay. So this is a little bit more about our dance classes with our instructor, Miss Allison.
My name is Liliana and I'm 6 years old and I go to ballet class at the Kroc Center on Mondays.
Beautiful job. High five. Good job.
I forgot my teacher's name.
You want to pretend that there's like a thread that's pulling, pulling. Ah, no.
My favorite part of ballet is when we dance. One day there was a big recital and all of us needed to be on stage and my mom and my dad and my sister were there watching me and it was so amazing. I love it.
All right. So in our dance department, we have hip hop dance class for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. The picture over here is Mr. Mike Jacob, who is just a phenomenal instructor, and Miss Allison, who you saw in the last video, teaches parent-child ballet, toddler ballet, beginner ballet, and then starting in the next, maybe the next session, is Afro-Caribbean dance, which is a partnership with Uzima, the Uzima dance crew, and Pierre Cook. So hopefully we'll be facilitating that class for us. This is a girl named Tom. They were the winner of The Voice from 2021. They came and played our gala last year, and I asked them to record a video about how great music lessons are for us. So let's listen to them and their stunning endorsement of Kroc Center programs.
Hey everybody, it's girl named Tom here at the Kroc Center. We are by the Fine Arts Hallway. Just to let you know that there are lessons available here at the Kroc Center to fall in love with music. The three of us growing up took lessons and it wasn't always our favorite to practice or keep going with it, but we're so grateful that we took lessons. We would not be able to do what we do today without that knowledge. So check it out and see if you like it. Whether you want music to be your hobby, your dream, your job, whatever.
All ages.
Yeah, all ages, whatever you
Scholarships
do.
for young folks, and yeah, it's not just a sports complex, it's a lot to offer here at the Kroc.
Yeah. All right, see you later.
Yeah, it was very nice of them to remind folks that it's not just about the athletics facility or the pool. Downstairs at the Kroc Center, we have a whole arts and education wing that people can check out. This is one of our music students, Rosie.
Hi, I'm Rosemary, and I'm 8 years old. I take piano lessons at the Kroc Center, and I've been playing piano for about 1.5 years.
Gradually get louder, so if you're going to start.
My teacher's name is Rachel, and right now in piano class, I'm working on chords and notes.
Perfect, you got it.
And my little sister
Right
comes
in.
here for swimming lessons, and I come here for piano. Hopefully one day, if I keep practicing, I can get a college scholarship to make it free because of my amazing piano abilities.
All right. So we have music lessons that are grant funded through the Community Foundation of St. Joseph County. They were generous enough to give us a very significant amount of money so we could make our music classes, well, up to a certain capacity of music classes and lessons free. So that's right now we're at capacity for those lessons, and we have a waiting list of over 50 students. So we're trying to figure out ways to plug them in, whether it be classes or groups. It's a good problem to have. It's a very good problem to have, but we really need to kind of, fit those people in somehow. So our instructors teach voice, piano, guitar, bass, ukulele, percussion, brass, woodwind, and strings. So almost every instrument, except accordion. I don't think we teach accordion, but I'd be willing if anyone knows the accordion instructors. Several of our Kroc music students earned gold medals at ISMA last weekend, which is really amazing. So kudos to them for that work. Our music classes have an intentional scope and sequence that take kids from the age of 3 to 10 and kind of take them through the basics of playing rhythm and rhythmic kind of gross motor skills and proprioception and crossing the midline, all that important stuff. And then we kind of roll out instruments and we just let them experiment with them in an instrument petting zoo setting. So they get to experience 10 different instruments, and then we teach them in introduction to instruments. We actually teach them how to play kind of the first 5 or so notes on every instrument, and then they can choose what their calling is, and they can move into our individual music lessons and kind of work through the program in that manner. We have string classes. So we're working with Jessica Carter, who is a composer, and she also teaches at Bethel College, and she does violin, viola, cello, and double bass lessons and group classes. And all of these are designed to kind of feed into the South Bend Youth Symphony Orchestra or Salvation Army performance groups. So it's exciting. Here's one of our violin students. Still getting some of those notes right, still working, it's okay. All right, you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. So we have arts classes, we have make and move class, we have a photography and collage class that's taught by Notre Dame master's student who also teaches classes at Notre Dame and prefers to work with our population versus the Notre Dame students, but that's we won't talk about that anymore. We also have a movie production class that starts next week. And that's going to happen here in our green screen room, as well as some other places in the Kroc. So we have this really cool facility, this room here, where we can project images onto the green screen and create these kind of fantasy worlds for our students, which I'm really looking forward to that. We also have creative writing classes. So we have Young Writers Club, we have a poetry class and a superhero stories class. A lot of these classes that I'm talking about are free for Kroc members and $5 for non-members. So it's really inexpensive to take these classes. We also have a class, writing your memoir, where you kind of think about snapshots from your life and you kind of expound on them. with our instructor who teaches at IUSB. She's a professor over there. We also have a variety of kids programs. We have a homeschool STEAM university, an after-school STEAM university, and Schools Out Day Camp program. In the fall, we had 46 folks in our homeschool program. This last session that we're currently halfway through, we have 80 people, which is the most that that program has ever had in its existence. And our cap for the next session is 100, and I think we're going to hit that goal. We kind of subdivide the groups by age, and then each group has an option of 2 classes for every time period to give the students some leadership, autonomy, and agency over what their learning experience is. We found that this really increases participation and engagement across our students. Here are some of our students in action. So you can see a little bit of the music class. The middle picture is from one of our STEM engineering classes. And that kid is obviously very proud about his creation there, his engineering feat. And I'm sure it was tasty too, because there are marshmallows at the end. So it's a little bonus there. The kids did a really cool engineering project also where they took an egg and they put it inside of a vessel or a container, and then they dropped it from the top of our staircase with the intention of protecting this egg from immediate destruction. And it was really cool to see them engaged with science in kind of a hands-on and really exciting manner. It was a really great activity for them. So I already talked about this stuff. We're going to add a gardening class too. If you guys know any folks that would be willing to come hang out with our homeschool population Wednesday, starting March 22nd at 10 o'clock to help facilitate our gardening class with our 5 to 8-year-olds. Please let me know, send me an email. I'll have my email at the end. So we're looking for folks to help facilitate that class. Okay, another video. Here we go.
When you mention the Kroc Center, many people think about the pool, the gym, or the climbing wall. But the center has a lot more than that to offer. Matthew Pandori Tesley got to meet with some creative kids in their
So this is about our after-school program, and it's Jen. I'll talk about her in a second.
Art and film production.
It's too low. Is this too low?
These are just some of the after-school
This gives you
programs
a little
held at the
insight
Kroc
into
Center.
what our film
So
production
at the Kroc
class
Center,
looks
we
like.
have an after-school program that runs from 2:30 to 6. It's open to everyone in St. Joseph County. So it's from kindergarten to 5th grade.
These future filmmakers gathered in their film production class.
So what you should do right now, you should turn it.
It's here that they learn everything there is about the basics of film production.
So Maverick, okay, everyone.
This class is all about exposing the kids to how things are done in the digital world. Some of them seem to know a little bit about green screen. Then maybe they've seen it on YouTube, or they saw some clip of their superheroes in front of green screen. But I want to show them how accessible it is for them to actually be able to do that for themselves.
The kids are currently learning a photo editing technique called double exposure.
You have you take a picture of yourself, and then you could basically take anything and put it on your body, and then it'll look cool.
The after-school program here at the Kroc Center is always accepting new people. So you can go to mykroc.org/afterschool, and that will link you to our after-school programming.
So ready, 1, make sure you look at this. 2, and action.
I know some of them may not know they have any certain talents, but I think in a situation like this, they might discover some stuff that they're able to do that they didn't know before. Or I might be able to help them break through some walls of being shy.
Shyness and fear, there's really only one way to defeat it. That is to do it.
Learning film and conquering their fears, the future filmmakers of South Bend are sure to take over the industry. Reporting for Buzz in the Bend, I'm Matthew Pandori.
All right. Okay. So the after-school program had 4 people in it when I got here, kind of in the spring before I got here, and we've grown it to about 25 students. They have the opportunity to take part in all these classes that you see here, and also play in the gym, the zone, and swim in the pool. So we have a partnership with Dr. Lamberg and the Housing Authority of South Bend. So our neighbors around the Kroc Center, we've been able to offer them access to our after-school program at no cost. So the Kroc Center is scholarshiping kind of half of that, and the Housing Authority is paying the rest. So it gives these folks that would not have had the opportunity to use the Kroc Center a chance to come in and experience all these great programs, which is what Joan Kroc's mission was. That's the reason why the Kroc Center's here. So I'm really thankful and for Dr. Lamberg and all the work that she does over there to support the folks in our neighborhood. We have Schools Out Day Camp, and that if South Bend Community Schools is not in session, we invite people to come and hang out with us for a day. So this is one of our most exciting programs. This is Jetta Cruz's
We need somebody with short, dark hair, because Sarah is skiing on a slope somewhere.
Adaptive Arts was founded because of the need in the community to provide art training, education, and performance opportunities to the special needs community. I found out that need because as an entertainer, a professional musician in the area, and I was approached by a mother with a child who had Down syndrome and asked me if I would teach guitar to her child. And that was the first time that I was, the awareness in me was raised that we don't have classes that are teaching education in music to people of different abilities. Once the awareness was raised and I started offering the same, the first lesson, word got out very, very quickly. And then before I knew it, I had a program of about 60 people. That's how great the need was.
I've known Jetta for a number of years now. She's an amazing local musician. You may know her from Jetta and the Jelly Beans. So she was running adaptive arts programming, and during the pandemic, she had to close her bricks and mortar location. And I thought that Jetta's program was so important to the community that I wanted to bring it here. So I reached out to her, and the rest is history. So we're so happy that she kind of serves a population that didn't have any voice in the Kroc Center community.
So we started out with adaptive guitar because that was the interest of the person asking, and we grew that program to be quite successful. And I think it was just natural questions coming from other parents. Well, do you teach other instruments? It's like, well, yes, I do. I've been a music teacher for quite a few years, actually. And so it was just really by need first. And then as awareness grew that somebody was teaching compassionately in the special needs community and actually teaching how to play music, not just staging it or going through the motions, questions started coming out about dance, theater, and these are just broad areas of interest that I've had a lot of training in over the years. So one thing kind of led to another, and they stopped being individual classes and started becoming more like a program.
So right now we're not going to focus on this being a stage for an audience. We're going to focus on this being our classroom for theater.
Well, I love going to adaptive arts because I love being with my teachers like Jetta Cruz, and it's been so much fun. I've been with her for a long time too, and I love being in theater and vocals and dancing.
Most of acting isn't what comes out of our mouth, it's how we are using our bodies to tell the story. Okay, soldier, expand.
Well, I am part of the theater division, and fundamentally it is an amazing time. It starts off with a few miscellaneous games in order to get whatever acting talent up at that particular point.
Okay, here we go.
Then we get onto the actual production, and fundamentally at that point we map out our lines, and we get told the positives, the negatives, the typical stuff a class would actually go through. I decided I would never hurt another creature without a good reason for it.
That really transferred, very conversational and personable. You drew me in.
I don't want to use limiting terms like disability. I want to say we are adapting to what our body needs to do to be able to accomplish what it is that we want as a goal. So I'm really not only just trying to offer classes and raise awareness that people of all abilities do not need to be marginalized or totally focused on what they can't or the challenge that they have.
They're a whole person. So our language needs to be supportive of that.
The class I'm doing is vocal. It's my favorite because I like to sing a lot.
When Joan Kroc allocated the money to build this Kroc Center and 25 more like it across the country, one of the things she said was that talent doesn't discriminate, but sometimes opportunity does. And what she wanted to do and what we get to do here every single day is make sure that kids and families get to experience things, get to explore passions, get to learn new things that otherwise they might not have an opportunity to do.
We love Jenna because she's the best teacher, is number one. Number two, she's fantastic. Three, we always stick together. Jenna is amazing. She's a very good teacher to us.
You got this. I get choked up a little bit talking about it. And after 20 some odd years of doing this, you see it's the people that you fall in love with. You know, if they never play a symphony, if they're never in a big motion picture production, that's okay. But here's the great thing, they might be. I'm not gonna put those limits on them. Oh, is he tapping the plate? And he just hit a home run. People transform right in front of my eyes, not just of the person learning and the students, but as the audience watching. If you have a group of people on stage and they might have Down syndrome or autism, maybe they have some other form of challenge, and then all of a sudden that's what people see when they're on stage, and then they rock out a show, that's not what people remember. They don't see a disabled person, they see a human being as an artist up there. That's the power of transformation. That's the power of adaptive arts. That's truly what we're doing here. Ladies, take a bow. Okay. Is that good for you? We're gonna.
All right. Thank you to Education Counts for that beautiful summary. That is Jetta's work. So go ahead.
Well,
Yeah.
you're doing such a fine job. We don't have hardly any questions. We don't have any questions. So
Well, let me just power through. So we also have
okay, power through.
Power through. So we have ukulele ladies. So if you're over 50 and you want to learn ukulele in a fun group, I recommend that you come here Wednesday at 6. Every Wednesday at 6 for the ukulele ladies class. And we're opening it up March 1st to the entire community. So we're going to see if we can get a ukulele army. Ukulele Academy sounds more sounds better. We have a lot of different instructors. As I said, you can see that we have quite a few folks that teach different musical styles or creative writing and art classes at the Kroc Center. And the future. So continuing partnering with local schools, museums, nonprofits, continue to get the message out there, which you guys could help with potentially to just increase community awareness of all these great programs that we have here at the Kroc Center. We're working with the South Bend Youth Symphony to try to build out our band and orchestra offerings, and I can't really talk too much about that, but hopefully there's going to be some big news here in a few months. And I just had an interview with a gentleman from the University of Notre Dame who just left the University of Notre Dame about kind of finding his role here in developing our theater program. So I'm excited about that, but that's also forthcoming information. And we're really looking to expand the Kroc footprint to include an outdoor amphitheater and a public park kind of in our facility so that folks that live here in the neighborhood can take advantage of really wonderful outdoor environment. If you think you can help us, we have volunteer opportunities. So that would be for Krista Back would be who you'd want to contact for that. Krista.back@usc.salvationarmy.org. You can always donate to the cause. $70 supports an art, music, or dance student for 1 month. You could contact Paul Zrom if you're interested in donating. We're going to have an instrument drive coming up soon where you can drop off instruments that have been sitting in your closet for the last few years that no one's touched. And we could So we're fortunate enough to be able to offer these music classes and lessons for free, thanks to this grant. But there's still a barrier for a lot of folks that can't afford to buy an instrument. And we want to break that barrier down so we can give people the opportunity to learn music without any discrimination or without, you know, we just want everyone to have that opportunity. So help us spread the word. Talk about us on social media and tell your friends. And that is the end of my presentation. I've reached the end.
Neil, that
yes.
was wonderful. I guess I'm going to have to come over. I've been there before, but I knew it was a great place, but I didn't realize it was such a great place.
Yeah, I think
so many things.
Yeah, so I think the community image of the Kroc Center, like I said, is the gym, the weight room, and the pool, and that's where it stops. But there's so many wonderful things happening with community outreach and just helping feed the community and clothe the community and just just holistically nurture people. It's really exciting. So I would love to show you around. If you come here, I'll give you a tour.
That sounds wonderful. I do have a question. I have a question. I didn't put it in the chat. How involved is is it a denomination of Salvation Army? How much is that a part of any of these classes or any of the activities that take place?
Yeah. So it is, the Salvation Army does have a presence here in the Kroc Center. It is run by 2 captains from that organization. But the Salvation Army their role is to work in ministry and worship services. So they do a lot of stuff on Sunday, and they do a lot of events kind of throughout the year that kind of bring community together. But the programs that we run in arts and education are separate from the kind of that momentum.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody have any questions that you haven't typed?
I think somebody had something.
They just wanted to say how wonderful you were.
Oh, well, that's so nice. I appreciate that. Says,
Silver sneakers.
Yep. The arts classes are no longer taught in many public schools. I know, that is so sad. Yeah, so I know that Penn Harris Madison, I believe in the younger grades, they do not have arts classes anymore. So that is definitely something that we could kind of investigate. And a lot of folks in the empowerment zone just can't find art teachers. When I was at Warren Elementary School, they were like begging me to teach a music class because they didn't have a music teacher. So I think these are connections that we're going to try to bring about in the fall to help support all those organizations and give them arts programming. And I saw Beth maybe had her hand up. Did you have your hand up, Beth?
I did. I'm in the process of typing my email to let you know that I have 2 flutes to donate. And I wondered, do I have to wait until you're official, or can I just make arrangements to stop by?
I think you could probably just make arrangements with me. If you send me an email, I would gladly take those. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and I missed that question. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I read the first part of what Linda had said, and then I didn't go down far enough to see who was it that said it? Cynthia. I didn't go down far enough to see the question mark. Neil, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate the time to be able to talk about all the stuff that we have going on at the Kroc Center.
South Bend is very fortunate to have the Kroc Center and to have you at the Kroc Center.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
Very nice. Well, if there are no other questions, and everybody can say thank you, and thank you everybody for showing up this month, and we will have another one the second Friday of next month on Women's History Month. We will have a special program. So, and that's now go back to the conference I was in downstairs. Neil,
right.
thanks again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
take care.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.